Say to bunny rabbit. Ice cream.
Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I am Kiwi Sims Kate. Kiwi because I'm from New Zealand, Sims because I love The Sims, and Kate because that's my name. It's as simple as that. Welcome to another speed build here on YouTube. Today I'm bringing you an apartment renovation. This apartment is one of the Chic Street. I think it's 21 Chic Street from memory. And this is actually part of another collaboration I was very proud to be a part of. It's a team that I've collaborated with before, actually. The team is called the Stream Shed, and it's a Discord server for just good folks, really. So I definitely advise you to go check them out. I will link below the Discord for that team. There's lots of really great stuff going on. It's a really busy Discord. Lots of great advice and tips and just nice people to chat to. So they've been putting together this collab save file for quite a while now, and they're doing it in bits and pieces. So they started off with the first couple of worlds, I think, and they're doing limited builds. So this one here, I'm building in San Myshuno, so obviously building with base game and city living, and a few other packs as well. I can't remember off the top of my head, but again, I will put them down below in the description. And if you download this build, you will see that it's, it is just limited packs, unlike how I might normally build for myself. I just use everything. And I really like trying limited pack builds because I think that I build way faster because there are fewer decisions to make, fewer items to look through in the menu, and that means I build it a lot quicker, which I appreciate doing a lot. Normally, if I'm building with every pack that I own, which is every pack that exists, it takes me forever, and then I add on custom content and it takes me even longer. I'm a pretty slow builder normally. So this build is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment, and I've got a little story behind the sim that I was building for, the sim that I imagine lives here, and the sim that I also created for the save file. So you can also just pick up the save file itself with everybody's builds from the Stream Shed collab, or you can download the single apartment from the EA gallery under my ID Kiwi Sims Kate. The sim that I imagined lives here is someone who comes from a small town originally, but they never really felt like they fit in. They always felt a little too extra, maybe, for their small town. They had kind of big city ideas, big goals, big dreams, and they didn't fit in. They were kind of seen as an outsider. People looked at them funny, for thinking kind of too big for their station. So the sim moved to the big city, packed up everything they owned, which was very little, and had saved up enough money to rent an apartment in the fashion district in San Myshuno, because their goal in life is to become a world-class fashion designer. So they are currently trying to work through being an interior designer, just picking up odd gigs here and there, but ultimately they want to be a style influencer and a fashion designer. So I have put some kind of trendier pieces in here. I also included the Dream Home Decorator style board as well in the bedroom. So little bits and pieces like that. And I imagine she's already maybe lived here for about 6 months or so. And she's picked up a few things at flea markets, but mostly she spends like all her paychecks on new art, new furnishings that she thinks are really kind of in and fashionable, because they're the kinds of things she never would have been able to buy back in her small hometown. So that was the idea behind it. So here is a kind of pretty open plan living kitchen dining area. I just pushed the dining table up against this half wall, so there's only really room for 3 chairs around it, but you could probably get away with putting a full-size dining table in this house. Probably just take away the half wall and put a dining table kind of between where the kitchen and the living room is now. And I reckon that would probably fit. It would be a bit cramped, but it'd work fine. I kept the kitchen in a lot of sort of blue tones, so I picked these counters in this really lovely sky blue, and the window coverings, the blinds are a darker blue. And then I also used from the Moschino packs, that's another pack that I used in this build, the glass kind of wall divider piece, which I'm not sure I've ever used before. It's really cool, and I think it works between the kitchen and the living room here. I wanted to create a separation without an actual wall, because this is a small apartment and I wanted the light to filter through, but I did want there to be a bit more separation with the kitchen, so that sort of the kitchen smells, obviously there are none in The Sims because it's just a game, but things like that wouldn't go through into the living space. Not that I really imagine this Sim cooks a lot. I kind of thought she'd probably eat out mostly or order takeaway, but she drinks lots of coffee and tea, so I did include a coffee pot as well, and the decorative mug rack as well. And here I'm placing a couple of those boxes that look like they've just been packed, as if someone's just moved or is about to move. I know I said earlier that I think she's been maybe here about 6 months, but I think that she's still kind of holding on to some old items she can't yet get rid of. Or maybe they're items she's picked up that she's going to, maybe she's, what is it called when you, like, not re-thrift them, but upcycle. Maybe she's going to upcycle some pieces that she found at a thrift store. I think she's quite creative, and I reckon she would do that quite easily, and maybe that's where some of her income comes from. She upcycles these items and then resells them on Plopsy or something. Is it Plopsy, the in-game, like Etsy? I think, right? Plopsy? I don't know. I don't know. I think I've only used it once since playing The Sims. And then there's a few pieces of art. So it's not the cheapest apartment. I did try and keep the budget down, but if you watch any of my other videos, you know I'm not good at keeping within a budget. I don't like having to build on a budget. I like the idea of the challenge, and then as soon as I start building, I change my mind and I want to add all this clutter, and the price just shoots up. I put some blinds up here in this large window. I really love these vertical blinds. I never used to use them, and now I feel like I use them all the time. I think I just didn't really register that they looked good. And then I had this epiphany one day, and I thought to myself, those vertical blinds are amazing. And then I started using them in all my builds. So apologies if I'm getting a bit repetitive with the use of those blinds. In this little entranceway, I put a few items to look like a kind of coat rack area, and some shelves, another one of those boxes that look like maybe the Sim is packing or is unpacking, a bit of artwork and a mirror as well, so they can just check themselves out before they leave, make sure their outfit looks impeccable and perfect, because I think the Sim really cares about that. And then gave them a few activities in the house. So there's a television, there's this set of bookshelves as well, and I clutter up these bookshelves. These are from Dream Home Decorator, and same with the units around the television are also Dream Home Decorator modular units. I love these pieces so much, but there's sort of some items in The Sims 4 are really oddly sized, and when trying to use them together, it's really difficult because you'll get a bookcase that is gigantic, including not just, height and width, but also sort of depth of the object. And then you'll get these really slim ones like this Dream Home Decorator one. So sometimes it can be really hard to mix and match objects because of the sizing. It's really strange how they did that, but yeah. I've just cluttered up with some kind of statues and books and plants and things, and then I move on to the bathroom here where I keep it fairly simple. I used the Control 9 key on my keyboard to raise up this vent and put it inside the house. I thought because there's no windows here in this room, that's kind of realistic for a bathroom to have some kind of fan or extractor so that it doesn't get moldy and yuck and dirty. So adding a little bit of realism, and then a few of my other favorite items like that shelf on the wall above the laundry basket. I really love this shower as well, and I just pushed it a little bit further into the tile so that it looks like it's got tiled walls in the shower, and it's totally functional. So I have play tested this build and it's completely playable. Then I move on to this wardrobe, sort of. It's like an office wardrobe. So this room is a little cramped, but again, it's totally usable. Your sim can access the wardrobe and the desk. So I put a built-in clothing storage section here, and I also put in an office desk and cluttered that up in a minute. Here I had a little bit of trouble trying to fit a few things in the shelves. I'm also merging in this base game shoe rack, I guess it's a shoe rack, into the wardrobe pieces, and I thought that looked quite cool. It kind of works. It sort of hides the bottom layer, which I liked, and then some base game shirts and some Dream Home Decorator clutter as well. Along the back wall of this nook, I guess it is, wardrobe nook, is just a wall of mirrors. I think the sim probably enjoys looking at themselves in the mirror quite a lot. Maybe not necessarily to check themselves out, but to check their outfits, to make sure they're looking really spot on and trendy and fashionable. That means a lot to them, I think. Well, that's how I imagine the sim anyway. Here's the desk that I put into this room, a couple of little rugs underneath, and I give the sim a laptop as well, so they can get jobs and maybe post on Instagram, images of their outfits they've created, maybe sell things on Trendy as well. So I just grab a bunch of clutter, some plants and tissues, and the Dream Home Decorator pile of magazines and color swatches, which I really, really love. Yeah, I still really rate that pack. Dream Home Decorator had some amazing items. This bed is also from Dream Home Decorator, and then the side tables, I think, that I end up going with. Yep, the side tables are also Dream Home Decorator. As I said earlier, I put the Dream Home Decorator kind of wall object that's like a work object up on the right wall there in a minute. I wasn't sure. I mean, technically, I don't think it's very realistic that this sim who's only lived in the city for 6 months and moved with barely anything has all of a sudden got all this amazing art around their apartment. But I don't care. I did it. I love it. It makes the room look better. And I just kind of justified it by, yeah, it's a game. It's pretend. Who cares? That's the Dream Home Decorator a corkboard object I was talking about earlier. And then I go around and fill up a few more of the walls. Also more Dream Home Decorator objects in this corner where I use those, I don't know what you call those. Those are sort of storage things, boxes? No, I don't know what I would call those, but they're storage things and they're just decorative, so your sim can't interact with them at all. I thought also maybe the sim keeps in touch with like one person back home who really was envious of how the sim has completely changed their life and got out of the small town, and so they kind of keep up to date with everything that's going on in the sim's life. So maybe they write back and forth with postcards. And then some, Tiny Living. Is that a Tiny Living lamp? This must be with Tiny Living too. I didn't use a lot of Tiny Living stuff. Yes, because I also use a side table here in the living room. But I do use a couple of objects, and I love that pack as well. So shortly, the screenshots are coming up. So if you want to download this build, as I said, it's on the gallery under Kiwi Sims Kate. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I would forever appreciate it. You can also follow me over on twitch.tv/KiwiSimsKate, where I stream twice a week. And follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, and on TikTok, where I am Kiwi Sims Kate. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care out there. Bye.